Yeah, I think we are live. Hey everyone, very good evening to all of you and those who are joining us today, and a very warm welcome to the fourth episode of the TLC Talk Show with Sachin Daya. Hope all of you are doing great, and hope all of you are doing safe. Now, today we have with us another TLC coach, Vaishali Puri. She is emotional wellness coach for men. So, first of all, thank you so much, Vaishali, for joining us today, and a very warm welcome on the
Thank
TLC
you,
Talk Show.
Sachin.
That's it.
Thank you so much for having me over here today.
Yeah, glad to have you here, Vaishali. So, without any further ado, she will be sharing her journey with us, how she get into coaching, and how TLC is helping her in her coaching business. And to start with, Vaishali, the very first question I want to ask you is, please share a bit of background about yourself, what you do, and a bit journey about yourself, how you get into coaching.
Well, Sachin, how I get into coaching and a brief about me would be I've always been into mentoring and counseling kind of an environment, right
Mm-hmm.
from when I started working at a very young age of 21 years. So
Oh,
soon after
okay.
I graduated, I started working, and then it was no looking back after that. And I was always in the role of counseling people in and around myself. I was
Mm-hmm.
counseling students, I was counseling community people because I
Mm-hmm.
was working with an NGO. I was working
Okay.
in an NGO setup.
Okay.
And I never realized that how many people how many lives I touched over there until 2020 happened. So
Mm-hmm.
after I mean, it's a tragic thing, but yes, a bad thing that happened, which led to a good thing, which is TLC. So I
Mm-hmm.
ended up with my very first failed venture in
Mm-hmm.
June 2020, and I think that is what marked my journey into training and coaching as an
Mm-hmm.
official trainer and a certified trainer. And
Mm-hmm.
I really learned that you really need to be well prepared when you are entering into this training and training and development industry, I would say, because it
Mm-hmm.
has so many aspects to it, right?
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
when now I look back on my journey, so I really feel overwhelmed because I have touched almost 7.5 lakh lives in 2 years, and
Wow.
I have mentored almost 300 MBA grads in 1 year. So
Whoa. That's huge. That's
now,
mind-boggling numbers. Yeah.
yeah, thank you, Sachin, because TLC is what made me realize when they really asked me, sit down and write down what you have done in life till now. So
Hmm.
that is when I realized, oh my God, I have done so much. I
Hmm.
never realized it.
Mm-hmm.
So yes,
Mm-hmm.
that is how my journey started,
Mm-hmm.
and I got my certification done
Mm-hmm.
from Indian Leadership Academy and also from TLC. So I'm
Mm-hmm.
a certified trainer from both the organizations now.
Yeah.
And
That's
very
great.
recently, I'm starting off with my own venture also into
Mm-hmm.
training and development.
Okay.
So yes,
That's
that's
great.
I would say a brief about me.
Mm-hmm. And that's great. That's really great. Now, when you were growing up, actually, I just want to get just from your end, like when you're growing up, was that teaching or that impacting people's life, was something like, was that always there in your mind, or it comes as you grow up and you get to know about this, okay, I want to go this in training, so मेरे को वो moment आपका जाना है life का when you realize that okay नहीं, training and coaching is something I want to go in.
Okay, so you would find this funny, but I've always seen my father, and
Mm-hmm.
he's always been that guiding force. I've
Mm-hmm.
seen a lot of. I mean, growing up, I've seen people coming to our house to
Mm-hmm.
take his counseling, to take lessons from him, and he has
Mm-hmm.
really helped people with their court cases, with their
Mm-hmm.
problems.
Yeah.
And I think growing up, I always idolized him that I want to do something like this where people come and talk to me. I never
Mm.
knew what was training and coaching, and again, this is your journeys are connected. So when I was
Yeah.
in my graduation time, I had a very good mentor in the form of my college professor, and she
Okay.
told us one thing, that by the time you clear your graduation, just tell me what you want to do in your life. I went to her in my second year and I told her, "Ma'am, मुझे science नहीं करना. I don't want to do science. I'm a science graduate." So
Okay.
I told her, I said, "Ma'am, I don't want to do science. Even though my practical hand is good, I am not inclined towards science anymore." She
Mm-hmm.
said, "तुझे करना क्या है?" So initially I said, "I want to do social work." I was
Mm-hmm.
researching, and then I think 2010, I called her
Mm-hmm.
up one night and I said, "I want to do relationship counseling."
Okay.
Right, 10 years
Okay.
back, I was very young, almost like 20. I am disclosing my age, but yeah, I was almost
It's okay. It's okay.
yes, I was almost 19, 20, and then I told her I want to do relationship counseling, and she was like, "You are, you are a very emotional person. तो दुनिया की problems अपने घर पे ले आएगी, and you will start crying." But I said, "नहीं
Hmm.
मैम, करना तो यही है. कैसे मुझे नहीं मालूम, but करना है." And
Yeah.
very recently, I called her back and I said, "Thank you so much for guiding." And
Mm-hmm.
right now, I'm on that track now. So there
Mm-hmm.
have been not just one moment, I would say, where I felt I was meant to do this, but there has been a lot of moments in my life, right
Mm-hmm.
from my growing up, my grooming with my dad. I have
Mm-hmm.
seen the way that he talks to people, the way he guides them. So I
Mm-hmm.
always had that in my mind that कुछ ऐसा करना है, कुछ
Mm-hmm.
ऐसा करना है. And now I think I'm on that part. And
Mm-hmm.
my first failed partnership venture really taught me a lot of things. And
Mm-hmm.
then that is how I was more focused towards preparing myself. And I guess
Mm-hmm.
the universe conspires when you desire something, and that's when TLC happened to me. So
Yeah.
right at
Yeah.
that time TLC happened, so it was a
Mm-hmm.
magic it was magical
Yeah.
moment for me.
Yeah. I think what I can get from all the journey that you have shared is that universe keep on presenting some situation in front of you, keep on putting those situations where
Yeah,
you just it just grow, and now you are impacting people and serving people through your coaching and doing emotional well-being, specifically for men, right? For now,
that is also another story which happened.
yeah. Please do share. I mean, I think the audience would love to share that.
So, this was one aha moment I had with Sudhir sir on the very
Mm-hmm.
first call.
Mm-hmm.
And we were talking, and this call was scheduled for only 1 hour. So I only had 60 minutes, and Sudhir sir, the person of this TLC platform,
Mm-hmm.
and we were talking, and the call was going nowhere, really nowhere. And I was thinking, मेरे mind में था, call खत्म हो जाएगी, कुछ निकला नहीं, call खत्म हो जाएगी.
Mm-hmm.
And then the last, I guess, 10-15 minutes, he just asked me, Vaishali, tell me about your life journey, what it has been, what you have been doing, what have been your experiences. And when
Mm-hmm.
I opened up to him, and then he was like, Vaishali, why don't you do this thing? I mean, you've grown in an environment,
Yeah.
you've watched, you have seen men so closely, their struggles,
Mm-hmm.
you have had friends who used to come
Yeah.
up, and open up to you. So why don't you do this thing?
Mm-hmm.
And that was the moment it clicked, and I was like, yes, yeah, I really love to do that. So why not take it up as a niche, you know,
Mm-hmm.
your micro area? And I think that was the aha moment, and that is how I came into being known. From a confidence coach, I started calling and tagging myself as an emotional wellness coach for men. And I went
Mm-hmm.
ahead and did a certification into life coaching and executive coaching, so that
Oh.
I should back up my knowledge properly.
Mm-hmm. No, that's really great. I think you have gone with a full force, what do you call it, with your full passion and commitment that you really want to serve. And coaching is something, or coaching and training is something that you really want to pursue in your future as
Exactly.
well. So you are well prepared. So that's why I mean.
Now I would say yes.
Okay.
Now
Okay.
I am more
Great.
prepared. And
Yeah.
also I am a numerologist also.
Oh.
So I
Wow.
did my numbers as well, and I found out that training, coaching, counseling is one of the most prominent profession for me according to my
Mm-hmm.
numbers. And
Mm-hmm.
then it was like, oh yes, I am on the right path now.
Yeah, great, great. What is that one thing you can't do? I want to know from you because
I
she
am
is
I'm
because you
jack
are
of all trades.
yeah, no, not Jacob. I think you are a very, very pride of TLC Helios Mastermind. You have to say that because one of
Thank
the
you so
most
much.
eminent member we are having in TLC Helios. whether it's your workshops, doing coaching, doing social media, creativity, doing any kind of work a coach need. She's always the in front, and she's always doing a wonderful job. So happy for Vaishali, so happy for you doing all these
Thank you,
things.
Sachin. And I'm really indebted to TLC for giving me that platform where I am actually honing my skills. I'm also learning.
Yeah.
You guys give me work, I learn how to do it.
That's true, and this is how leaders are created, because this is how what I have learned from my experiences as well. I've been given the responsibilities and the things that I have to do. Over a period of time, we learn, and then that's how we are grow as a leader as well. So
Absolutely.
great to hear about your journey. Now I want to ask how you got to know about TLC, whether it's the Facebook ad, the same Facebook ad which in the past coaches have shared with me that they landed up on Facebook ad, and they enrolled for the webinar, and then
Absolutely. You are right.
okay.
You're
And so
absolutely right.
share how was the experience then.
So this happened in March 2020 when I was still in my first venture. So
Mm-hmm.
I went and I asked my partner, I said, I came across this very good webinar about training and coaching and how this business needs to go.
Mm-hmm.
So should I go ahead and attend the course? And then she was
Mm-hmm.
like, no, we don't need it and all that stuff. But
Mm-hmm.
I was very adamant,
Mm-hmm.
so we only had that, I think, 10 minutes window to make the
Mm-hmm.
payment.
Okay.
So I asked her in those 10 minutes, and she was like, no, let's not do this and don't waste your money right now. But I was like,
Mm-hmm.
no, if you have to go into this industry, you really need to learn from the best. So
Mm-hmm.
I went to my mom and I said, Mom, I want to do this. So do you support? So she said, okay, go ahead, make the payment. If you want, if you're confident, go ahead. And then
Oh.
March 2020, I joined the TLC University Level 1. And
Mm-hmm.
then once my venture failed, and I think within 2-3 months, I got a call from you to attend the Helios meeting
Mm-hmm.
in
Yeah.
September. And I
Yeah.
guess there was no looking back, and that's how I became a part of TLC
Mm-hmm.
Helios.
And how's
TLC and Helios.
yeah, and how's the experience so far? We are so lucky to have you. First of all, I mean, as I again said, you are one of the brightest member that we are having as far as action taking is concerned, putting the learnings into actions. That is what we focus on in TLC. So, how is the experience so far? If you want to share from your September journey to right now, any moment that you want to share, where you feel like you have doubted yourself, like there are so many big coaches out there. I would say there are so many these people out there. How are you gonna grow? How are you gonna learn? Or any other memorable moment that you want to share from your experience so far?
So there have been so many moments, right
Mm-hmm.
from when I was doubting to join TLC, and I came on a trial membership. I still
Mm-hmm.
remember. And
Mm-hmm.
then, because I never knew, because that was a time I just had attended the course of level 1, trainers
Mm-hmm.
income blueprint.
Yeah.
And I never knew how this whole community is going to work out. So the
Mm-hmm.
moment of doubt was in September, yes, for a month. And
Mm-hmm.
I guess probably after that, there was no doubt.
Yeah.
And the learning moments has been on every Friday, every Wednesday, you know.
Mm-hmm.
So these sirs and Guru Murli's webinars have been live webinars, live classes has been there. And I have really understood that once you start teaching, you
Yeah.
start implementing, it's when you start learning more. And
True.
the best moment was about this book writing, that we were
Mm-hmm.
really pushed the momentum that was created. And this
Mm-hmm.
was, I suppose, one of my dream project, I would say. I
Yeah.
My own professor, she's a soft skill trainer, she's a PhD in soft skill. And
Mm-hmm.
before coming into this industry, I always admired her, because I was
Mm-hmm.
like, this is something that I really aspire to do in my future.
Yeah.
And I was on talking terms with her also to write a book, and we did start writing a book on confidence. But somehow my laptop got corrupted, and the manuscript got lost, and I was like so desperate, and I was like, what to do now?
Mm-hmm.
And I guess that was the time again, the universe conspires, and that was the
Mm-hmm.
time this author program came, where
Yeah.
Murli sir, Sudhir sir, all the VPs, they
Mm-hmm.
really supported us to write our first book. And I guess that was the time that I changed my subject. And
Mm-hmm.
with all the templates that sir gave us, it
Mm-hmm.
was really amazing, really helpful, the techniques that was taught to us. And once I saw the book cover, that I only designed,
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
so
Yeah.
overwhelming, and everyone loved it.
Yeah.
And I
Absolutely.
started getting calls from Helios and even from different other mastermind groups. Can you design the cover for us also?
Oh
So
wow.
I guess that was one aha moment in my entire book
Mm.
writing journey, where I was able to put others' thought and feeling into their book covers.
Wow.
And it was
Wow.
such a positive feeling when you see someone's thought
Mm.
getting converted into that book. I guess
Mm-hmm.
to be a part of such a process itself
Mm-hmm.
is a blessing, I say. So
Mm-hmm.
this has been my experience. It's been
Mm-hmm.
awesome. As we say in TLC, it's been awesome, awesome, and
Uh,
awesome.
yeah, I think all the viewers, those who are watching us today through this live session, one thing I have to share with you again. I'm repeating myself. She's one of the when you just talk about one thing, and she will always be there with the answers. Whether your creativity, business implementation, doing the workshop, doing the presentations, whatever you just tell what you need in coaching, and she's always there with the answers. So really wonderful to hear that, Vaishali. Now,
Sachin,
if
you
I
are
have to
very
ask,
generous. Sachin, you are
no,
very
you have to
generous.
be. No, no, I
I'm
totally.
learning. I'm learning from you and all the leaders in the group. So really,
Yeah.
you've been there as a support, and I think this is one thing that we are really learning from you. So thank
Thank
you
you.
all.
Thank you so much. Thank you, Vaishali. You're too kind. If I have to ask you now one thing, if I have to ask you the uniqueness of TLC. So, what if you say that you do? I'm sure you're a part of other masterminds or other kind of community as well, right?
I think
Yeah.
one thing that
So,
I really,
yeah,
one thing,
what is that according to the uniqueness of TLC, which is not there in different communities?
it's I'm a part of three masterminds now, three different
Mm-hmm.
communities now.
Mm-hmm.
And one thing that I really love about TLC is the collaborative intelligence. You know,
Mm-hmm.
you call any member of any group, not just I'm
Yeah.
talking about Helios. Helios too
Yeah.
is super wonderful. You call them at midnight, they're there. But you
Mm-hmm.
call any person from any other group and you just tell them, "Ki, okay, I need this thing. Can you help me out?" The next day,
Mm-hmm.
they'll be ready with all the material. So I
Mm-hmm.
think that is the uniqueness, because in other groups, what happens is if you tell ki you need some material, first of all, there will be no response. Second, if someone will respond, that will be after the time limit has been over. So there is no
Mm-hmm.
use of that response, right? And the
Mm-hmm.
third thing is everyone in other groups is like self-promoting. So they are
Mm-hmm.
not tapping the collaborative intelligence, which has been, I think, the most powerful asset of TLC,
Oh.
right? And we've been there with each other, and we have seen, and we love each other's growth more than our own self.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
If you do a webinar, we are there to support you. If I do a
True.
webinar or I'm a part of any competition, people are there to support me. I think
Yes.
that has
Yes.
been the best thing.
Absolutely. I think this is why I realized that TLC, I'm also part of other communities as well. But what I believe is that TLC has really given us that platform where like-minded people are coming together, not only for their own learning, but they are also there to support others as well. Because in their wins, they are finding their wins. In their, moment of challenges, they are finding and they are having that support system ready so that they don't feel alone when they are facing the
Exactly.
challenges. So thank you so much, and totally agree on that part. Now let's come down to your coaching as an emotional wellness coach. If I have to ask you if you want to share in detail about your coaching business, like what exactly you do as an emotional wellness coach, and who's your target audience, how you're solving the problem. If you don't mind sharing with the viewers.
Right. So as my title says that I am biased toward men.
Yeah.
I
Sorry,
don't
women, those who
apologize
are
for
watching this. You have to wait for Vaishali's
that.
confirmation on that part.
Yeah. So I get a lot of females calling me and asking me, do you do coaching for women also or only for men? I said, no, I do it for both, but my primary target audience is men. And
Mm-hmm.
initially it was men in the age category of 35 to 44 years, but
Okay.
now I have widened the horizon, and I'm also started taking college students, because I
Okay.
got a lot of queries from that age group, and they wanted to talk and they wanted to unburden. So I
Mm-hmm.
created a specialized program, a 3-day emotional unburdening program
Mm-hmm.
specifically for men, and in which I tell them techniques to associate with positive emotions, dissociate from the negative emotions, and what exactly are emotions. I've seen over the years that men primarily express emotions as an anger, ego, frustration, and
Mm-hmm.
shouting, I would say.
Mm-hmm.
So they rarely smile, or they rarely cry, or they rarely express any other emotion, right? So primarily I consider men's emotion as a volcano. So they suppress, and once it's over, they just blast out, which is wrong, which I felt was wrong. And they should have proper time in a duration in which they should express their emotion. Like we as girls, when we want to shout, we shout. When we want to cry, we cry. When we want to laugh, we laugh. When we want to smile, we smile.
Yeah.
So we have a lot of variation which men were not having. And I did one session when I was there in my previous organization, which was
Mm-hmm.
there with the labor class, labor class
Mm-hmm.
men.
Mm-hmm.
And it was called as Mardangini. And
Mm-hmm.
so I did that session, and I realized that there's a huge potential in men,
Mm-hmm.
and that is untapped. That is really untapped because there is a lot of feminism going about, and no one talks about men's right, men's emotion, men's issues, men's problem, not
Mm-hmm.
just not just in India, across globe. So I
Mm-hmm.
am right now, searching for people who are working on this area. I
Mm-hmm.
understand what are the issues happening, and then I, find out the ways to help them.
Okay.
So I've been coaching men who has body issues.
Mm-hmm.
You can't even imagine a man coming walking up to you and telling you that he has body issues. He cannot accept his
Mm-hmm.
body. I've been
Yeah.
coaching men who has been sexually harassed,
Mm-hmm.
right? I've been coaching men who's been taunted by their own family members for
Mm-hmm.
not being good enough son and a good enough boy, I would
Mm-hmm.
say. So I've been
Mm-hmm.
coaching all these categories of men. And then of course there are students who have their own relationship issues. So
Mm-hmm.
yes, I am also giving them coaching on relationship, which of course is not my area, but whatever help I can provide to them, I am providing in the best of my ability and capacity.
Mm-hmm.
So that is what I'm doing in the emotional aspect of it. Also, I
Mm-hmm.
told you I'm a numerologist, so I have this unique program called Decode Your Partner. So not
Mm-hmm.
decoding yourself, but
Mm-hmm.
decode your partner. So
Yeah.
that can be your mother, your father, your business partner, your life partner, your friend, your any
Mm-hmm.
family member, anyone whom you with whom you're very close to, but you
Yeah.
don't know the person exactly
Yeah.
what he why why he's behaving in such a way. So through the
Hmm.
power of numbers, because numbers are very scientific, their energies are very scientific.
Hmm.
So I use those energies and I help them decode their partners, and also the bonus is they get to know about themselves also. So I'm teaching numerology also, and I'm helping them decode their partners also. So both the things I take.
Okay.
So that
Okay.
is my way
Thank
of
you.
helping.
Okay. Okay. Thank you so much, Vishali, for sharing that thing in detail. I hope all the men, those who are watching us today, they must have got some clarity what exactly she's doing, and if you need any help, so how they can. Do you have any program for them? Do you have any WhatsApp group or any program that you want to share where they can connect
Yes,
with you?
I do have the link for the WhatsApp is there on my Instagram. So they
Mm-hmm.
can either visit on my Instagram profile, which is by the name of emotional dot wellness coach. So they can
Uh-huh.
visit and they can just click on the bio and they'll get the WhatsApp group invite, which is
Mm-hmm.
exclusively for men. Any
Mm-hmm.
female who wants to join, I have a separate group for females, so they can
Okay.
just message me and I'll
Mm-hmm.
add them to the separate group. I
Mm-hmm.
want to keep it separate because both the genders faces different issues,
Yeah.
and
True.
I want to handle both of them separately.
Okay, great.
Yeah.
I will also provide the link in the description of this live video, so you can check out what exactly the WhatsApp group or the other links that related to her program, related to her workshops. So I will be sharing the link in the description. Apart from that, Vaishali, any other program do you have you want to share with the people that you have where you can add more value to them? Because I think never than before in today's world we need those emotions. No, we need that emotional support because there are so many turbulent time going around. There's so much that's happening. There are so many people who are losing their job and their emotional trauma is all around us. So there's any other thing that you can help out people with, any course or anything you want to share here?
So, with this, I would just announce that I'm coming up with my first book, as I mentioned in the conversation earlier, and it
Mm-hmm.
is called as Unburdening,
Yeah.
Unburden: 5 Ways to Heal from Emotional Traumas. So, in
Yeah.
that book, I am telling about what are the 5 ways, if practiced in a correct way, can really
Mm-hmm.
help you overcome any kind of an emotional trauma. And
Okay.
that is backed by the case studies of the original people who were gracious
Mm-hmm.
enough to let me use their stories in the book. Of course, their
Okay.
names have been hidden for privacy.
Mm-hmm.
So
Yeah.
I am coming up with that book in the month of July, first week of July.
Okay.
So
Great.
people can go and read that book, and I'll
Mm-hmm.
provide the link. Right now, it's on an offer, so
Mm-hmm.
people can book that book right away.
Okay.
And the first chapter of the book, whoever books the book right now at the pre-launch offer, I'll offer the
Mm.
first chapter within the next 10 days to them,
Okay.
so
Okay.
that they understand what exactly the book is all about.
All right. All right. Great. Great. Thank you, Vaishali, for offering that. And I hope those who are watching us today, if you need help from Vaishali, go ahead and use that link. I'll be sharing the link in the description of this live video, so you can go ahead and book your copy. Moving ahead, Vaishali, now it's time to have some rapid fire. So I'll be
Right.
asking you a few questions where you have to answer in one sentence, or if you can answer within word or so. So the very first question is TLC is what for you in one word? If you have to say
TLC is everything to me. So
everything.
one word is everything in awesome. 2 words, sorry.
Okay, great. I think we will allow you using two words. Next one is according to you, what you feel that in today's time, author, coaches, trainers, or no speakers, those who are into this noble industry of teaching, they need. So what is that one thing you want to say that people need today? I'm especially
Uh,
the coaches.
s- I'll take that liberty, Sachin, because there is not just one thing.
Mm-hmm.
There are two, three
Mm-hmm.
things that they really need to do. Is number one is to be authentic,
Mm-hmm.
sell, and number two is learn the art of selling. Not just learn,
Okay.
master the art of selling, because
Mm-hmm.
they should not, shy away from selling their knowledge,
Yeah.
right? Because they have really worked hard in acquiring that knowledge. And when they
Mm-hmm.
go out and tell people, people should not just say, okay, he's just saying some other gyan. It's
Mm-hmm.
not a gyan, it's life changing processes that you, me, and any other trainer or coach is offering, right?
Yeah.
And the third thing is that they really have to be outspoken, right?
Okay.
So selling,
Mm-hmm.
mastery, and authenticity and outspoken, I think these three things are utmost required.
Yeah. And I think I can totally correlate with you because on daily basis I'm interacting with at least 4 to 5 coaches, not only in India across the globe. And one thing I found that the common problem today is, I know those who are into entrepreneurship, or especially those who are into this industry of teaching, they shy away from offering their values or whatever they are offering. They are not able to do that because they have some hesitations. What people are gonna think. There's a taboo attached to this word selling or sales. People are not that
Yes.
much comfortable when they are sharing about the value. So that's really I think very much needed in today's time.
And I
Thank you
would
for.
say, Sachin, I would say that most of the time when when you speak about entrepreneurs or people who are just
Mhm.
starting off, they
Yeah,
undervalue themselves.
true.
If something is, people are getting at a cost of 8,000 in the market, these
Hmm.
people will sell it off for 1,000 so that they don't
Yeah,
lose the client. But in
yeah,
a way, they're undermining their own values, which they shouldn't do. So research
yeah,
about what is the market pricing going on, and
yeah.
then
True,
accordingly, select your pricing.
true, true. Thanks, Vaishali, for adding that. That's I think really valuable insights from your end. And last question that I want to ask you from this rapid fire is one moment or one memorable moment in your journey till TLC so far, if you want to share.
So there are two moments.
Okay, we will give you this leverage.
Thank you so much, Sachin. So, for first moment, no doubt, it was the call with Sudhir sir, which really gave the aha moment of the entire
Yeah.
journey till now. And the
Mm-hmm.
second was when, as a group, we met. The
Mm-hmm.
physical meeting that we had
Mm-hmm.
amidst all the precautions and everything. I think that these two moments have been the most memorable moments,
Mm-hmm.
and I really love learning from people, and TLC has really given me that. So thank
True.
you so much.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Again, that's glad to have you inside here at TLC Helios, Vaishali, and we are a pride member. We are proud to have you here, in fact, because it's people like you who are making this mastermind or this community valuable. Because you are the ones who are taking actions. You are the ones who are putting and sharing your whatever you have learned with the people. And again, apart from your clients, but you are also supporting the members within the community, because there are members who need some more support as far as technology is concerned, as far as you have mentioned that book cover that you are helping with a lot of Helios member and other mastermind members as well. So thank you so much for your services, Vashali, and thanks so much for being part of Helios, because we are so proud to have you inside again.
Thank you, Sachin, for
Yeah.
having me, because having me inside this community, it was you who really
Yeah.
persuaded me in the month of September 2020.
Yeah.
I still
I
remember
still
that.
remember the follow up I have done.
So
Yeah.
I owe it to you, a big thanks
Mm-hmm.
to you.
Mm-hmm.
And it's really
Pleasure.
wonderful because if you had seen me 8 months before, I was a
Mm-hmm.
person who
Yeah.
never knew the T of technology, and now
Mm-hmm.
I'm handling the social
Yeah.
media.
Yeah. Absolutely. Now you're handling the social media of, I think, national level, right? National ambassador for TLC, I think.
Yeah, I'm not. Yeah, so I'm handling that. So
Okay.
you can imagine. I mean, people
Yeah.
who are watching me right now can imagine how this transformation must have been for a person who hated computers and graphics and everything, and now she's designing everything on her own.
Yeah.
She's managing all the social medias for all the coaches and helping them build their bios and build their
Yeah.
platform and attract more people on their profile. I think
Yeah.
that journey has been exuberant, amazing
Mm-hmm.
learning and implementation.
Mm-hmm.
And as both the gurus have always said,
Yeah.
it's all about action and action and
Yeah.
action.
Okay.
And
Yeah.
whatever you learn, just put it into action, because
Yeah.
only doing is learning, only
Yeah.
doing is knowing.
Yeah, true, true, true. So I can totally, get it from you, the way, the excitement that you're sharing your journey, the excitement that you have shared all your information. So I can see that how passionate you are in terms of teaching, helping, and serving the community and serving the people around us to make the world a better place for all of us. Thank you so much, Vaishali, for joining us today. It's a really,
Thank
really,
you,
pleasure to have
Sachin.
you and to hear your journey and hear your backstory, your journey with TLC, and all whatever you have transformed so far in last 8 or 9 month period of TLC Helios. Thank you so much for being part of Helios.
Thank you so much, Sachin. And TLCs, thank you so much. And because of TLC, now I'll be moderating one of a global event in not even a
Oh,
month's time.
wow.
So I've been asked to be the moderator.
Mm-hmm.
So seeing how I moderate all the programs, and that is all thanks to TLC, because
Excellent.
इतना practice करवाया कि now you really
Mm-hmm.
master everything. So thank you so
Absolutely.
much.
Absolutely. Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you, Vaishali, one more time. And yes, one thing I can relate, what I can get from her journey is that if we are passionate enough to serve people, if you have your full commitment, opportunities in the world will offer you those situations where you can grab those opportunities and move forward with the right intentions. So thank you once again, Vaishali, for joining us today, and hope all the viewers, those who have watched us today, you must have got some insights from Vaishali's journey on transformation, Vaishali's journey, how she has grown in last 1 year, and I'm sure she is setting up for the very, very high benchmark for herself in next coming years. And wishing all the very best, Vaishali, for your book, for your programs, and all the
Thank you.
wonderful things that you do as a coach
Thank
trainer
you,
in your life as
Sachin.
well. Yeah,
Thank you so much, Sachin,
thank
and
you,
thank you for always inspiring. Thank you so
thank
much.
you. So I will see you in the next live session, members, those who are watching us, and with another coach, with their journey, with their transformation. Till then, take care and stay safe. Bye bye.